You murdered innocents. Don't know a thing.
Die, Witcher!
Leave him to me. Be gone.
I can't.
I insist. My, what a smashing ensemble. You wear it well.
Shut up. I look like a twit.
The caftan is sewn of the best fabrics available, and according to the best tailoring practices. But one must have a modicum of taste to appreciate this. Even the most exquisite robes cover only deficiencies in beauty, never in refinement.
Rather not bicker about taste. Don't like to. It's neither interesting nor productive.
This particular Witcher has an inborn intolerance for formal occasions. Yet he's to attend just such an event shortly. I expect that's the source of his prickliness. So try not to take things personally, Master Taylor. Rather pity him. For in truth, stage fright overwhelms him. He trembles at the thought that he has no notion how to behave in the presence of Her Grace's Majesty.
As well he should. All that being as it may, Toussaint's highest honor, the Order of Vitis Vinifera, demands appropriate attire. The Duchess cannot be expected to drape the medal on a suit of armor caked in mud. Palace protocol places enormous emphasis on form, virtuous tradition, etiquette.
Huh. A tradition which values appearances ahead of all else. Which calls for lordly, glistening triviality and misplaced generosity.
Sound wistful. Pensive, Regis. That because they refuse to buy you a new outfit?
Hardly. It's the tone I ever adopt when I find myself pondering, which, believe it or not, happens quite a lot. Besides, I've no need for a new outfit as I shall not be attending the ceremony.
Why not?
Because unlike you, I don't have to. I shall begin to pack my belongings instead. I trust you'll join me later, once you're richer by a medal and a fascinating new experience?
Count on it. Ceremonies, medals honoring virtues, just keeps coming up.
I've had no reprieve either. And I keep thinking of the last great virtue, compassion. It's the one piece of the puzzle that never seemed to fit.
Mean you suddenly believe the 5 virtues theory, after all we've revealed?
It's not a question of belief, superstition, or old wives' tales. It's a conclusion derived through exercising pure logic. Sienna planned everything in advance. Had we not stopped her, surely there'd have been a fifth victim. One the gossips would have associated with a lack of compassion.
Her plans don't matter now. Can't act on them. Ask the messenger who delivered my invitation to the ceremony. Sienna's in the palace. Courtiers pressured the Duchess to lock her in a tower.
Do you care not a whit who else was in her black book? We've some time before the ceremony. We could still chat with that boot-cleaning urchin. He was the one to pass the victims' names to Dettlaff. Perhaps we missed something.
Could be worth checking with the bootblack again. Meet you by a stand.
Fine. I shall await you there. Shoot the breeze with the charming lad to pass the time.
The bootblack? In the lower city? Intent to soil my masterpiece in the city's gutters?
Promise to be careful.
Welcome.
Thanks. Think that's all I need.
Ever your servant, sir.
Duquesa summoned. You! Truffle much?
Sir de Perec Peremerates no more. Somewhat.
Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Your face doesn't look good. What the hell happened?
The city was attacked. Surely you don't imagine I could stand and watch it all from some ivory tower.
All right, we can start.
Very well. But you must behave. Less like a hired thug, and more like a man deserving of the Duchy's highest honor. In fact, you'd do best to maintain a dignified silence throughout. Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me. The Duchess awaits. In the Guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it will be the end of us.
You lost them all in the fire. These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart. For now, we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Tucson's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, Slayer of the Beast of Beauclair, step forth.
We bestow the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire. May this symbol serve as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than a dozen barrels of Son Real, a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
Feels like a second distinction. I'm honored. Thank you.
I trust you shall make good use of it. In a moment I shall speak to Siana. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet you also showed me her horrendous deeds. As head of state, I must judge her fairly. But she is my sister. Thus my heart bleeds for her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
The Duchess requested I be present.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister. And my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me, as one impartial. I shall now hear what he has to say.
No matter the mitigating circumstances, whatever they may be, Siana is a criminal and should be tried as such. And punished as such. Her guilt is clear.
Your words sadden me greatly, Witcher. But I cannot deny their logic. Sienna, you shall be tried and given a fitting punishment. Yet we shall never cease to be family. As Duchess, I shall have to judge you. But as your sister, I shall never stop loving you. Will you forgive me?
I shall never forgive you.
Es lo que acaba de pasar. Puta, no me lo esperaba.
Need some flowers. A wreath, or...
I've none. Sold everything. I was just on my way out. No sense hanging about with nothing to do. Should come as no shock, sir. Had the funeral, folk took it all. Men, women, children, all wished to... But she liked common roses best. I know. Her ladies-in-waiting would come here at times. I'd choose the loveliest blooms for her. Fragrant, big petals, the kind that last a long time. I've still not come to terms with it. To be killed by her own sister. How could it happen?
No one suspected Sianna'd be merciless. Not Damien, not me. Least of all the Duchess.
Oh, I know you. You're that Witcher from the north. The one that saved us from the beast.
Mm-hmm. Could say that.
Wait here. Take these.
Thought you were out of flowers.
I put a bouquet aside. I was to take it to her myself, but...
How much do I owe you?
Not a copper. Keep your coin and raise a toast in her memory tonight.
Do just that. Farewell.
The Duchess summoned him.
Snow White, you with the exquisite hair.
Those noises again. I couldn't sleep a wink.
It's not decent. Matter or no, she was the Duchess's sister. Shared her blood. She should lie with her king.
Witcher, I was certain you'd departed.
Couldn't. Anna Henrietta was...
Wondrous. Beautiful. Good. The best ruler one could hope to have. Yet I let her down.
Don't be so hard on yourself. No one expected Sienna to do that, persist to the end. And none of us did anything to stop her. 'Cause there was nothing we could do.
I suppose you are right. But when someone so beloved dies, one cannot help but search one's soul for blame. And even the hardiest knights grow faint-hearted then.
Come to pay my respects. Bid the Duchess farewell.
White roses. They were her favorite. Go inside then. She lies in the ducal crypt. In one room with her murderer, despite my protests.
What? Who decided that?
The Regent's Council. A pack of old men who've statutes and codices for hearts. Ducal blood flowed in Sienna's veins, and she was never legally disinherited. So they ruled she should lie alongside Henrietta.
I regret it ended this way, that I failed to prevent it. Hope you can forgive me. Rest in peace.
Stylish crypt, quite subdued. Yes, this is the kind of eternal resting place I dream of.
Moments like this, I never know if you're joking or serious.
Serious, Geralt, serious. It's remarkably peaceful, subtly charming to the hilt. A perfect match for the Duchess's dignity. Ah, you humans, you'll never cease to amaze me. To feel despair in the face of natural processes to which you are predestined. I've come to take you from this place, my friend. Dare say you deserve a speck of respite after the mad whirl of the last few days.
Those deaths I failed to prevent. Feel pretty awful right about now. Can't help thinking I could have done more. Now Toussaint's left without a ruler, or more accurately, chaos rules here. hand in hand with despair. Duchess won over people's hearts. All Beauclair now weeps for her.
A mass outburst of emotion. Well, it seems her subjects have adopted some of their recent ruler's traits.
Why this sarcasm? Thought you liked Donna Henrietta.
I did. And I do truly rue her passing.
Me too.
Then let us drink.
Always seemed to me you were a very complicated creature by nature. Not one to resort to such simple methods like drinking your worries away.
There exist worries for which they're quite simply, it's no other medicine.
Whatever you say about Siona, you gotta admit, she was unbending.
That she was. I do admit it. Though, in her case, it would have been better if she had been a tad more, philosophical, pausing from time to time to reflect on the propriety of her actions.
True.
How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diavolis variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavor profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
You decide to go root picking now? It's dark out.
Geralt, even were I generously to assume it had simply slipped your mind that I am a vampire and thus need no light to see, I'd never believe you had also forgotten that you likewise have absolutely no trouble seeing in the dark. So, shall we?
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. But I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
Thanks. Right then, let's go.
This moonlight makes me oh so dreamy.
Penny for your thoughts. Let me guess. Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking... about, how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse?
You've not an ounce of refinement in you, have you?
Where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He's a vampire after all.
Regis!
Damn it, where'd you go? Regis! Damn it, where'd you go?
I did what I had to do!
Those Bruxay, they called you a traitor.
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or...
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink. Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning, then develops gently, rising to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you at your new home. On the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
Don't really know yet. Might find the life of a hard-working vintner too tempting one day. Or maybe I'll just stick to the path, go on roaming, staring up at the stars after laying my bedroll at the roadside.
Ah, roadsides, bedrolls, and the sky above. I sense some poetry coming on, which of course brings to mind Dandelion. I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?
So we shall, my friend. We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do. love to go home. That's it, Roach.
Steadily, my Camilek aches something fierce.
Bread axe a spring to your step. Life adorns your head with thorns.
Greetings, sir. I am Barnabas Basilfauti. By order of our dearly departed Duchess, I shall serve you as Major Domo of Corfa Bianca. I previously served with distinction at the Nibli family manor and in Nazaire with Admiral Rompali, who, as you are certain to know, is an extraordinary, demanding gentleman.
Whoa, Barnabas Basil. One thing you ought to know. I'm not your typical landed gentleman. Truth be told, this is the first real property I've ever owned.
Oh, in that case, you must leave it all to me. I shall organize, see to everything, and whip the house into order. I dare say this place will soon be the most prosperous vineyard around.
Great. Can already see I'm in good hands.
Prior to undertaking anything in that regard, sir, I feel I should inform you that someone has been awaiting your arrival.
Who might that be?
You must forgive me, I do not know. Alas, your guest failed to give a name. One last request before you go in to see them. Please, come and find me afterwards. I have yet to give you a tour of the estate.
Geralt, here at last.
Dandelion? What the hell are you doing here?
I'm not here. I'm a figment of your imagination, because you really want me to be here. Brought you a housewarming gift. It's also an illusion. How do you like it?
You shouldn't have. Really, not everyone likes seeing you first thing in the morning.
Come on, don't be dramatic. This is the guest room. If you ask me, it belongs here. Fits this space like a warm glove. Now for some serious business. If anyone asks, I'm not here. Last time I was in Beauclair, admittedly enjoying myself, Henrietta...
Dandelion.
That is, the Duchess.
Dandelion.
Got a bit carried away and banished me on pain of death. I wouldn't want...
Dandelion. Anna Henrietta. She's dead.
What? But... how?
Come on. Got a story to tell you for a change. Sadly, I couldn't stop Sienna. She killed her own sister. Just one small consolation. Sienna's dead too.
Is that so? Gods. What a terrible, terrible loss. She was the morning sun striking dew. Vibrant butterfly among dun moths. Should have ridden down here with you. Might have done something together to avert this. But I had my hands full back home.
How's business? You and Zoltan still have your tavern? Or is he embarked?
You know him. We'll share a jug of mead and he'll go on about some new plan. Recently, we discovered Novigrad's largest wine importer was a lying cheat.
So how'd you figure out he was up to something?
This one day I was feeling down in the muck. Decided to lift my... So I knocked back a bottle. Nothing. Then another. Maybe a slight buzz.
Might not be a lightweight anymore. Could be those years of training have finally paid off.
Come on! It took me 5 bottles to start seeing double. I thought, might just be a weird day. So I tried the same thing the next morning. Exact same result. I told Zoltan. He tried it and confirmed my findings. So we decided to ask the importer some tough questions. The man cracked. I threatened to tell everyone about his trickery unless he gave me a discount.
Plan to kick around Beauclair long?
I rode here with the specific intention of staying a while. Priscilla voiced no... She meant too much to me. Can't possibly walk these streets now.
See you later, Dandelion.
See you, Witcher.
I'd stomp wine with that one.
How might I be of service, sir?
Vineyard comes across as a place with a rich history. Know who owned it before me?
Baron Rossel, who went bankrupt, forcing him to sell the estate to the Duchess. The Baron, in turn, had purchased it from Monsieur Bolius of the Headsman. A truly...
He was actually a headsman?
No, not him, but his great great-great-grandfather. Indeed. Apparently he was a common cutpurse who somehow secured for himself. He never hesitated, not once. Never sliced unevenly, never botched a job. Monsieur Bolius, on the other hand, was an engineer in his younger years. Sadly, misfortune struck, and he lost his sense first of smell, then of taste. Additionally, he...
Shame that. He gave up making wine?
Not at all. He made even more of it. Began throwing wild balls to which he'd invite friends from far and wide in order to treat them.
Mind giving me a little tour de Corvo Bianco?
Not in the least. Follow me, please. I think it would be practical to begin on the hill. Behold, sir, your estate in all its splendor.
Pretty vast.
Indeed. And now, sir, allow me to show you a handful of interesting details. Follow me, please.
Been a major domo all your life?
Yes, I come from a long line of major domos. My father was a major domo, as was my grandfather before him, as was my great-aunt. In fact, she was the one to start the tradition.
Great-aunt?
A hard woman. It is said that already as a child, she knew where she was going, and went there. When she arrived in Beauclair, she signed on as a chambermaid at one of the vineyards, then slowly worked her way up to Major Domo. She dragged the rest of the family up the same path. The servants' quarters. I occupy the green home. With the Duchess's permission, I have hired a full staff. Their salaries to be paid from the ducal treasury.
Nice of her.
Not the most sightly part of the estate, I admit. But I think it's worthwhile for you as master of the domain to know where the help stays. Follow me, please. Follow me, please.
Bread adds a spring to your step. Wine adorns your head with...
Baron Rossel ordered the vines in this part of the estate uprooted and olive groves planted in their place. They look beautiful, especially come spring.
Don't look at all bad now, either.
Follow me, please. Follow me, please. Down below lies your vineyard, where we grow a strain of Carfanere, one of the world's oldest. Aged in oak barrels, it provides for an exquisite wine with distinct blackberry, wild cherry, plum, and cinnamon notes. Marvelous.
Have to try it one of these days. Nice well. Picturesque.
Yes, though it ran dry long ago. During the raucous feasts Master Bolius held, he would order it filled with wine. There's a tale about a guest attending a Bolius ball for the first time and thus unaware of the custom. He had suffered great heartbreak and had decided to end his life by jumping into the well. The festivities were coming to a close, and the well was nearly empty when the suicidal guest finally jumped. Instead of killing himself, he merely broke his legs. To numb the pain, he drank the wine.
Drank himself to death?
Not at all. When found the next day, he had concluded he'd witnessed twin miracles. The water had been changed into wine, and he had survived. He retired to a monastery in the Dragon Mountains and began preaching the wisdoms of Lebioda. Follow me, please. Monsieur Bolius, his wife Nina, kept a garden here. A supremely lovely place it was.
Bit neglected now.
I agree. Yet nothing stands in the way of restoring it to its former glory, and once again planting it with herbs and other vegetation. Madame Nina planted diminutive, delicate flowers and herbs here. One might say their aroma still hangs in the air.
You're quite the romantic, Barnabas Basil.
You've spread some nastiness to me.
Bread adds a spring to your step. Wine
Follow me,
adorns your
please.
head with thorns.
This served as an additional wine cellar in years of plentiful harvests.
Bit of work and it'll make a fine stable for Roach.
Yes? Ooh. Follow me, please.
I work from dawn to dusk's last light. Then
The cellars, voila. During Monsieur Bolis's time, wine was kept here, but Baron Rossel used it to store olive oil as well. I took the liberty of cleaning up the mess, which...
I made while fighting the Bruxa. Thanks, Barnabas Basil. Appreciate it.
a man who dare not down some red is a man whose wives like to thump his head.
As you can see, the facade is, how to put it, slightly stained. But one cannot deny it, a certain subtle southern charm.
True, though it could use a bit of subtle paint.
I've a daughter, you know. She's fit to wed. Oh, so fit.
And welcome inside. On the left is the master bedroom. On the right, the dining hall and kitchen. Upstairs, you shall find the guest room, currently used for storage.
Not a bad idea.
At the moment, the house is only minimally furnished. Yet I believe we will, together, devise some innovative arrangements. A few paintings, for instance, would breathe new life into the abode immediately. With that, sir, you've seen the full lay of the land. Corfo Bianco is a beautiful estate. One must admit, time, if forgive me for being forward, but if you were to choose to invest a small sum towards its beautification, consider me at your service on the matter.
Think I'll take you up on that. Be sure to come and see you if I decide to do any remodeling. Vineyard comes across as a place with a rich history.
Baron Rosset.
He was actually a headsman?
No, not he never said.
Shame that.
Not at all.
Mentioned the place could stand to be spruced up.
Oh, most decidedly, sir. The question is where you would like to begin this rejuvenation.
Been thinking about the outer walls. Maybe a fresh coat of paint or some patching.
If I might dare to make a suggestion, why not start with a general renovation? I once oversaw such work at Admiral... Not only did the residence positively sparkle afterwards, but we also made room to display the Admiral's art.
It's in your hands then. Make the place shine.
I shall get to work immediately. Within a day's passing, I shall have sent for the crew, which are highly skilled at what they do. It shall not take them too long, I wager. 2 days. Is there anything...
about these spacious grounds. But maybe it's time...
Oh, yes. We certainly The way I see things, given your trade, sir, you would be wise to put in a grind...
My armor needs work from time to time. You know, oil this, reinforce that.
Admiral Rompali once hired a specialist who made the fine...
Good. Order me up at...
Immediately, sir. Will you be needing anything?
In my trade, my blades get dull pretty quick.
Of course. No one would consider...
Then send out for one.
Of course. I shall send a runner to town. Will you be needing a...
Know what? Changed my mind. Not in the mood to talk about redecoration today.
I shall be glad to answer your...
Starting to really like this place.
I agree. Yet I would urge you to hold off on further construction until the ongoing work is done. Juggling can be a challenging art. It's best not to undertake.
Thanks. Gotta get back to my business now. See you soon.
Nourish yourself. You knit color. You look warm.
Rations coming along all right, Barnabas Basil?
Superbly, sir. General refurbishment has been completed. In other news, the laborers dusting out the cellar have made a most unusual discovery. I believe it's some...
If you say I should see it, I'll...
I've a daughter, you know. She's fit to wed. Oh, so fit.
Strange. Something behind this wall, I think. Laboratory. Must have been an alchemist at one time. BB, know anything about the laboratory in the cellar? One of the...
A laboratory? Alchemy? I know nothing.
It is. It was walled up. Equipment's pretty ancient too, so it must have belonged to someone who lived at Corvo Bianco before you start. Whoever it was sure knew their stuff, though. Got dragon glass vials and flasks.
Forgive me, sir, but I fear I don't follow.
Just saying, it's top-notch equipment. True masterpieces of craftsmanship for use in alchemy. Brewing a concoction with this stuff versus doing it over an open fire? Well, there's no comparison.
Then I am all the more delighted you discovered it, sir.
Vineyard comes across as a place with a rich history.
Baron Rossel.
He was actually a hit.
No, not him. He never... Sir,
Shame.
not a...
Starting to really like this place. Maybe we should keep going, refurbish some more. What do you think, BB?
As you wish, sir. Shall we see to the house or the grounds this time?
Starting to get into this whole renovating thing. There must be a...
What a splendidly wise idea. Now that the general refurbishment is done, why not see to the grounds? Perhaps...
You know Roach, my horse? Well, we've been through a lot together.
Oh, a sturdy stable testifies to a most honorable...
My Roach deserves the best.
I shall get to work at once. Will you be needed?
So, sometimes I have to brew a potion, but I can't...
Well, you're in luck, sir. The flower garden, once kept by Madame Nina, Monsieur...
Good idea, Barnabas Bat.
The idea is you... Will you be needing anything?
Feels like by investing a bit of...
Indeed. Momentum is best maintained once established. Now that we've finished the general renovations, you might begin to
Along the path, I've often picked up well-crafted, beautifully ornamented armor. Some of those
I agree. It would lend the place...
Yes, just please
It goes without saying, sir. There is nothing worse than By this time tomorrow, Is there anything else?
Thinking about buying a comfortable bed.
Excellent idea. In your profession, rest is supreme.
Great.
True indeed, true.
Could use another weapon rack. Got some interesting pieces.
I know of a carpentry shop in...
Fine.
Of course, at once. At most 1 day for them to arrive, is my estimation. Is there anything...
Was wondering about the guest room. Not that I'm expecting company, but...
Oh, but that is immaterial. All self-respecting homes should boast a comfortable...
Yeah. Sooner we...
I can tell a man of action immediately. I'll see to it.
That's all for now, BB. Renovations coming along?
I am delighted. You must.
Thanks, BB, but I'm afraid duty calls.
Why, no, sir.
Wouldn't worry about it. I'm not...
Very well, sir.
It snaps. My back aches something horrid.
Diddly! My gummy leg aches something fierce.
What do you... Hold that.
Bathe, ladies, bathe, for you know neither the day nor the hour.
Whoa there, Roach.
here in Toussaint with no penchant for living to work, nor working to live, nor working at all.
A curious land, this Toussaint.
True. Each time. Yeah, I should. The fairy tale.
Most amusing.
Was it tough, eh? Bashing that beast?
Lovely trifles.
No one gives a hoot about us poor.
Why? Really, why? You'll not find work here. Not paying you.
Bathing tears away at the skin. And thus brings death close.
Dark secrets tells even a fairy tale that she like Toussaint.
My.
No two ways about it.
Can't afford a barber, let alone my wares.
No two ways about it.
Excuse you?
Arrogant bastard. Wipe your boots before you take another step. Don't slurp your food. Don't...
What?
Oh, I'm just jesting. You, sir.
Spoon like this. When you set a place, where's it go?
My oh my. It seems rather a fanciful bouillon spoon. Or a key of some sort.
Yeah, note led me here. Any idea what the key might open?
Never seen it before. But you might search the cellars. The previous owner...
See you later.
The tournament. Am I too late to sign up?
We've one slot free for anyone willing to play the Skellige deck.
This a face no ointment can help.
What now? Without our Duchess?
This a face no ointment could help.
To you, Witcher.
Ah.
When I think of those days of yore, ere fate had bound my life.
You Silverlocks, looking for diversion?
Ooh! Hey, excuse me.
A high and mighty northerner dog, Tito Dunglicket.
Come on. Slow now.